So I would love to be able to tell you that Bali is this tropical, wonderful paradise. I think the thing that we've all seen online and that we've had relentlessly stuffed down our throats to convince us to go and visit the spiritual, magical, wonderful island of the gods. This video is not that. Now, I was in Bali for 2 months. I tried my absolute hardest to like it and to give it a chance. And what I'm going to show you is what I found to be the case in Bali. Now, that does not mean that it's not for everybody, because I think there are people who rave about it so much and have absolutely made it their home and love it. For me, that's just not the case. You've seen what I get up to. I don't like to be around the glitz and the glam. I don't look for luxury holidays. I go to places where I feel like I'm going to experience something new, local culture, maybe something where I'm going to find a fitness challenge, but that is sort of outdoors or, climbing up mountains, things like that. And I will be really honest with you. I got thoroughly depressed in Bali. It was nothing like I imagined it was going to be. And even when I went looking for all of the other things, I just couldn't find them. The problem is overcrowding. And I absolutely accept that I was part of that problem if I'm going there to visit and go and see and do nice things. What I would say my experience of Bali is there are a lot of people there who are trying to convince you it's something that it isn't. And because of that, it has generated this huge influx of tourism. And the infrastructure simply isn't there to cope with it. But we live in a world where social media is absolutely a viable source of information as long as you cross-check it against other things. However, it's almost impossible to cross-check these things because so much of the information is outdated. And there are so many people that came into my comment section when I said this on TikTok saying, oh, you don't understand. Oh, I went there 10 years ago and it was the most magical place ever. It isn't that place anymore. And I wish I could have seen it back then. I also think there are plenty of other places that you can go and visit right next door, some of the other islands, and making sure that you go and experience other parts of Indonesia, because this is not about Indonesia. This is about the island of Bali specifically. And it just was not somewhere that I would ever visit again. I think it was expensive. I think it was undeservedly expensive. I think the disparity between what you're paying for things and what local people working in the service industry get paid is absolutely horrific. I think it is a false reality being perpetuated by influencers online to try and show you that they live this luxury lifestyle, which they don't. It is 5 to 10 person house shares. So they may live in a luxury villa, but there's 5 of them in there. They're never going to show you that. If your hair is going to fall out and you have to buy shower heads in order to just maintain a head of hair, then you know what, it's probably not the place for you either. I will say the coffee was very good because it caters to Aussies, but that then leads to a whole other problem as well, the Aussie Butlins, as it's known. And there is this weird discrepancy between what European audiences see and think, oh, it's this spiritual magical island, and then Aussies who see it as Tenerife. And that is, again, a very difficult one to reconcile. Now, of course, people are going to go, oh, well, you just got to leave Canggu. Yeah, sure, I did. And do you know what I found? I found dirty beaches and overcrowding in all of the places I visited as well, to the point that I just stopped trying. So you're going to get some clips here, or you're going to get a view of what a week looked like for me here. Now, I was there primarily to train, so I can't complain about where I chose to stay. And I found some really lovely places to stay. And I will say this, the fitness facilities in Bali are second to none. It has an incredible fitness scene. And if you've seen the last video, you'll see what Wanderlust looks like. It's just incredible. And there I met some really, really good people. But you go and try and do other things during the day. And the issue was that the activities that a lot of people go and do and tell you are amazing, it's things like riding dirt bikes down the beaches. That's not spiritual or magical or maintaining the environment. If you go up to Ubud, where a lot of people say, that's the really untouched bit, it's not. It's the sort of eat, pray, love style vibe, right? But there's just open dumps in the middle of the forest. If you go for a wander, you will find them. And I found endless numbers of clips of people showing that online, but that's not the stuff that you're shown. So please take this video where I've tried, you will see when I'm filming, I'm trying to be really positive about it, but I think it just comes through so obviously that I felt deeply uncomfortable there. It's not somewhere that I would visit again, but I absolutely would go and visit some of the other islands off Bali. So you have Lombok, although again, massive, massive breakneck development. And they're building, racetracks and huge hotel resorts and marinas and all of that. So again, I think it's going to come to the same thing. You've got Nusa Penida with amazing diving and all of those, and I would have loved to have gone there, but actually where I would rather go is I would rather go probably over to Flores and Sumba, or go to Komodo Island. But even that is now being closed for a bit this summer, as far as I'm led to believe, to control the over-tourism there. There are thousands of islands that you can go and visit. Bali has been popularized because it had affordable accommodation for people who wanted to live what appeared to be a bougie lifestyle and post it all over social media. And I will get backlash for this, but it's what Dubai used to be in terms of the crowd that it attracted for an affordable, nice, comfortable, safe environment. But it has not been able to keep pace with the amount of tourism that's come there. So it's a very difficult one to explain, and please don't think that I'm trying to say that Dubai and Bali are the same, because they're not. Clearly, they're not. I've been to both. They're very different places, but they attract crowds of people who want to post things on social media. And now I think Dubai has actually gone away from that slightly, because I think it's getting more expensive and there's a lot of people leaving because of the sort of overdevelopment, and as the prices go up, it no longer becomes the same place to stay, and they're adding taxes and all that. You know as well as I do, there are influencers on social media that will just show you the most amazing pictures of these wonderful places in Bali and tell you just how fantastic Bali is. My experience was very different to that, and I really did try. So enjoy the video. Take everything you hear about Bali with a pinch of salt. From my end and theirs, I am trying to be as objective as I can here, because I just don't think I'm not trying to sell you anything. I'm not promoted by anybody, and I'm just showing you my experiences. So to highlight this fact, and I think probably more telling than anything else, is that I had been in Thailand, I went to Bali, I did 2 months in Bali, which is the maximum you can do on your visa. Now I will say the immigration procedure was extremely smooth. They do it all online. There's e-gates, really, really slick, and because that was one of the problems that used to exist. Now, fine, you don't have to worry about ripped passports or anything, you just use the e-gates. I was gonna go and do a visa run, jump out, come back, then go to Lombok. And it got to the end of it, and I was so thoroughly depressed with my time in Bali that I left there in what was supposedly the high season. It actually just rained all the time, but that's no fault of anyone there or anything else. And I came back to Thailand, and I'm in Thailand right now, and I absolutely love it here. My view is that you're either a Bali person or a Thailand person. I'm very clearly a Thailand person. I've never felt more comfortable, more safe, more at home somewhere than I have in Thailand. I never thought that would be the case, but I absolutely love it here. It's one of the jokes that we make, because I don't think I've ever met somebody who says that they love both. And even talking to people who are the OG sort of Bali lot from years and years and years ago, they come and visit Thailand and they go, wow, I didn't realize it was like. There are plenty of people moving from Bali to Thailand. Now, I hope it doesn't end up being the Balification of Thailand. And when people say, oh, well, you went to the wrong bits, you went to the wrong this, I am here in Phuket in Thailand, right, a party island. But I would tell you right now, it's less of a party island than Bali is. So let me know what you think in the comments. Please have a look through the video. I was just so disappointed with it, and I could not wait to leave. So with that, I'm in Indonesia, specifically here in Bali, the beautiful island of the gods. And this is the beach where we've just landed back, having been swimming with dolphins this morning. I'm going to interject here. Now, this is a part of Bali that everybody says is totally unspoiled and away from the tourists and the kind of hustle and bustle of the rest of it. Look at the beach. Just look at the beach behind me. It's filthy. And I had tried to find the part of the beach where there wasn't loads of rubbish all over it. But just keep watching in the background and you'll see it's just discarded plastic, and not just like little bits. That happens, right? But you can see huge plastic crates in the background just being washed up. And whilst I haven't put them in the video, there were so many bits where we were going through the water, you're getting dragged by in these boats to go and see the dolphins, thousands of boats around you, everybody chasing a pod of dolphins, and then you get hit in the face with a plastic bag. It just wasn't anything unspoiled. Now, a lot of people, I think, misunderstand Bali. I still don't really understand it. I've been here, but it's just one of a chain of islands that exist in this whole region. So you've got Lombok, Nusa Penida. You can go up, further up north, you can go up to Sumatra, Java, any of those. Each of which is very unique and has very different wildlife, coastlines, scenery, all of that. So Bali, it has a bit of a rep, I suppose. But for me, we have been here working a lot, getting a lot of content done, getting a lot of work for clients done. But I think it's pretty hard not to like somewhere when it looks like this. And this morning it's only 10 to 10 and we have already swum with dolphins and been snorkeling out with tropical fish. and now we're gonna go back, get some more work done, and carry on with our day. But this is exactly the kind of place where you can come, relax, recharge, or where you can absolutely kick the arse out of it and do a whole bunch of stuff that you probably regret. I'm not doing the latter, but this is glorious. Good morning. It is 4:15 a.m, 4:20 a.m. We are off to swim with dolphins today in North Bali. Now, our driver is en route. See if I can set you down there, stay, good. Our driver is en route to come and pick us up. It's about 2 hours, right, to the other side of the island. So it's not necessarily the sort of most or easiest thing to get there. Oh, I was gonna have a shake for a thing, I've just poured it everywhere. There you are, just tipping it all over the counter. It's been the story of my life here. Just got some snacks to put in the bag. That's, what have I got? Almonds, some salted almonds. So just easy little snacks. Have a protein shake for breakfast. Okay, so let's talk about the villa. From what you can see, I'm sure it looks really, really nice. And I think, again, this was one of the things that just hit us as soon as we got there. Not only was the villa meant to be surrounded by rice fields, nope, those pictures were really old. It's now surrounded by complete developments everywhere. Now, this is in Pereiranan, so outside Canggu, just down the road. And around it, there was some green space if you went out and drove around it. But again, all the roads on the way up, filthy. The side roads, filthy. Building sites everywhere. Honestly, you couldn't get anywhere. But not only that, but these pictures look amazing. But as soon as you scratch the surface, this whole place was falling apart. And I think this just seems to be a really common theme for a lot of the villas there. They're made really quickly and they're made to look really nice. So that when you're booking it, you're like, wow, look at that place. You get there and you're like, this is awful. The kind of thing, even really simple stuff like the air conditioning just being really underpowered for the size of the villas. Now, this could have been just our experience, but from what I've heard from everybody else who lives there, it's actually quite common. No air conditioning downstairs as well, so you get the big ceiling fans. Again, I've lived in a lot worse conditions than that. But when I'm paying for it and when I'm expecting a certain thing, that's when I want to get what I've paid for. Not only that, but our landlady, absolute nightmare. Just basically went on holiday, wouldn't answer messages. And then when the snake came into the house, which you'll see in this video in a minute, her exact words to me were, oh, it's fine, I'll just deal with it in the morning. I'm really tired, I've been traveling today. And this just seemed so just representative of everybody's attitude there. It's all just a bit scammy when it comes to the tourist market. It just wasn't, it was not a relaxing or enjoyable experience at all. What else have I got? I can't even remember what else I bought. Taking the Bill for Athletes bag. I'm taking the Pros Series one today, which obviously Harry 15, if you want to go and have a look and get one off, we'll get a discount off. Get one off. Go get one off, lad. So the Elite Series bag, it is slightly smaller than the one I normally use. But that's actually quite useful for today because I don't need quite as much stuff and certainly not as much weight. I did manage to rip the chest strap off it the first time I used it, which wasn't ideal. So I'm going to see how it holds up today. I've got some dry bags in there as well, which got my little electronic gadgets in there, so you guys in here can fit on there. And then when you get the taxi, 2 hours up to the boat. Don't really know what happens when we get there. Hopefully there's some food stops. But otherwise, we've got, also, do you feel how bougie we are? We've got a little private boat for us. Should be no one else on our boat, but don't know. We'll find out when we get there. We booked online. You never know. They'll just we'll get there and we'll just turn up and there's no boat. Great start to the morning. The dude, I have no idea where he is. Just waiting for him to turn up. He keeps ringing, being like, "Hello, hello." I can hear him. He can't hear me, and then he's like, "I can't open your maps on WhatsApp." So no idea. We'll just wait and see. We gave him the address. We'll see if he turns up, but he's late. So when he finally arrived, we then came up against the next problem, which is the time it took to get to the north of the island. Now, it's absolutely fine. We knew that we had to cross the island, but the lack of infrastructure meant this didn't take 2 hours. It took 4 hours. There wasn't even any traffic. It was, first thing in the morning. We went through some absolutely stunning scenery, but everything was just punctuated with open air dumps on the side of the road. Again, hugely disappointing for such a beautiful place. It's just after sunrise, a little bit after, and we're heading out today on a dolphin boat tour. Now, you'll see a lot of this on the internet, but we wanted to go and see it for ourselves. I've never swum with dolphins. As you know, in the Galapagos, I got to swim with turtles and sharks. So dolphins are one of those things I still need to go and swim with. We will see whether or not we actually get to see any today. Undershore, but the weather couldn't really be any better. It's been an outfall of about 3 minutes, and it sounds like there might be some dolphins coming, so an entire fleet of what looks like little tourist boats is coming because I guess they want to see them too, but we are trying to get there first. Next up, some snorkeling. We're budgied up to the max. Go find some fish. Now, I really don't want to understate just how amazing it was to swim with dolphins. Like, we were so close to them. But again, entirely hampered by the fact that there are hundreds, and I mean hundreds of boats chasing a pod of dolphins. It is one of the most uncomfortable experiences I've ever had. So hence why we ended up cutting it short early and just going off and going for a swim, getting into budgie smugglers and swimming around the fish instead. The boat drivers are super helpful with it. They kind of understand that you feel uncomfortable with this, but there's nothing else to do, right? Because that's how they make their money. And so you are part of these sort of whooping, cheering, what feels like almost a hunting crowd of boats chasing dolphins. Deeply, deeply unsettling experience. And again, just a symptom of overcrowding, no one putting any management on how many people can go out and do all these sorts of things, and what you can, what you are allowed to do in order to preserve what is supposedly this absolute beautiful, magical, spiritual, cultural island, where it's just rubbish in the sea, rubbish on the streets, and 1,000 boats chasing one pod of dolphins with GoPros out. And I am acutely aware, this is what I'm doing in this video right now. But it was that feeling when we got off the boat afterwards of just going, that was wrong. So this actually was a great part of the day. You go and feed the fish over the edge of the boat. The driver told us, absolutely do it, drop some food in, and the fish will come swimming around. And as you can see, as I go underwater, there's just amazing shoals of fish that come all around the boat. And it was wonderful to see. You can see crystal clear water, absolutely lovely. Got some nice sort of cinematic shots of us swimming through the water. But this actually was just a wonderful part of the day because there was no one else around. We just went off to a little reef, as you can see, and went swimming. And that, I think, is maybe the image that people get of this place. And that's why I don't want to show you this false image. Yes, we got to do this, but it was as part of a completely different day that looked very wildly different to this. 4 hours to get there, 5 hours to get home, but we saw some fish and some dolphins. So now let's get to the crux of the issue, the overcrowding. And this is when you head back into Canggu, but I'm afraid it's not just Canggu either. It is the other parts of the island as well, the traffic. I'm sure you've seen the videos of it. It's not a one-off, it is all the time. So I'm going to show you now what it looks like when we would drive home from the gym in the evening. Now, bear in mind, I'm out in Thailand at the moment, and this is Bali. They are a couple of hours away from each other, but sunset is fairly regular. These are not in the same way that, say, the UK, and our days get longer and shorter. It's not quite the same. Obviously, the closer to the equator you are. So you are ending up with much more regular daylight hours. So nighttime comes at about the same time every night, and it is traffic wall to wall. I mean, it's traffic wall to wall during the day anyway, but at night it gets even worse because that's when people are starting to head out or they want to go to a bar or a restaurant or a club or whatever it might be. When I arrived in Bali, it took me 3 hours to get from the airport to the villa, right? Which was a grand total of about sort of 7 miles or 10 miles or something. Honestly, I just couldn't quite believe it. And that was just a foreshadowing of what was to come. So here is how you drive in Bali. And just to add to this as well, don't forget, if you're visiting, you need to do this to get anywhere. So whether or not that's you on a bike, or whether that's you getting a taxi, a grab, whatever, to go anywhere. And don't even get me started on the grabs, right? Because it costs you like 70p in British money to go on a 20-minute grab ride, right? Which is absolutely nothing. But then you're going to pay a fortune for the food and the drinks and everything, because that caters to the tourist market and the grabs pay local wages. It was, again, a hugely unsettling contrast between the two. And you couldn't help but feel it every single time that you got a grab anywhere. But this is something you will have to do, right? If you go anywhere near the any of the subpopulated areas, and as the island increases its tourist capacity, or sorry, not even capacity, but just as the increase of tourists happens on the island, then you are going to get this occurring more and more frequently across the island. And this is a particularly bad example to show just how extreme it is. But this was every single night, every single morning. And so if you're somebody who's going there for a relaxing stay, I promise you at some point you're going to have to deal with this. If you want to go to the airport when you're going home, you're in trouble.
That was, without a doubt,
the worst journey I've had through Canggu yet. Oh man, it's bad normally, but that was terrible.
I actually wasn't feeling great today. I haven't really done much, didn't sleep very well the last couple of nights, so a very chill day, and was getting ready to go to bed. Something happened. Now, don't worry, everybody's okay, but we very nearly could not have all been okay. So got to the evening, we were actually saying, right, early night, get up early tomorrow, go train, all that. We had our feet up on the sofa. I think we just finished eating. Suddenly Ted sort of jumps, like, oh, bro, what the fuck is that? Looks down, and there's a snake on the floor. So then we made a rookie decision. We went, and without doing any research, tried to go and just see if we could get the snake out of the house. Having now spoken to some experts, we made a serious mistake in doing that, which could have potentially been fatal. It's a spitting cobra. There's a spitting cobra in the living room downstairs. A small one-ish, but they can spit venom at 2 meters, which means that we were well within that range. So now I'm going to show you what we've just been up to, because having spoken to the Cobra guy, we've managed to lock it in a cupboard, but the cupboard does not have flush doors like it does back at home, right? They're all wonky and everything. So we now have to tape up or jam up all the holes around the door to make sure it can't squeeze its way out overnight, because apparently they will. So without further ado, here you go. So the storm has started raging outside. The snake barricade is built. That is the sofa pushed against a table, against the cupboard door, which has been jammed shut with towels, as we got recommended by the Cobra guy. So who can I just say, the Cobra guy is only a guy that, that it happens that my mate knew somebody who knew the Cobra guy in Bali. And there is a spitting cobra in the back of that cupboard that we're really hoping doesn't get out overnight. I've got the numbers to message the Cobra people tomorrow to come and get it. Back in, and the doors are now sealed. The Cobra people should be coming tomorrow. I will call them tomorrow, but we've already got the maintenance people coming, but we will have to get proper Cobra removal people and the full suits and everything. So that is the door all, that's the cupboard all jammed up to try and stop it squeezing its way out. Now, I will say this house doesn't have any flush doors. Everything's got gaps. The air conditioning is on full. That's a good thing, because snakes are warm-blooded, obviously, so they need to warm themselves up. It's gone down into a cupboard and wrapped itself somewhere amongst some duvets and pillows. Great, I don't want to go in there. We already did pull all that stuff out, which was really dumb. I'm not going to self-flagellate anymore, but the air conditioning's on, the fan's blowing the cold air around, so hopefully it will sense the cold in here and not want to come in. If it does come in, then I am actually probably screwed, because it will want to go in the bed, because that's the warm bit, because I am very warm-blooded. That is where we're at the moment. It is now it's nearly 1 o'clock in the morning. That's not what I thought I was going to be doing this evening, but there we go. I will see you guys in the morning for an update when the Cobra people come. Right, well, it's the morning after the night before, and I did actually manage to get some sleep. I didn't think I was going to. I thought I was going to be absolutely awake all night, scared that Cobra was going to come into my room. The maid for the house, who's part of also the rental team, has just turned up, and with her mate, Now, I'm not sure they quite understood the translated messages I sent to them saying that it's a spitting cobra. So they're on the phone now, and they're gonna, I think, get the rescue people in, or like the specialist teams, which I really hope so, because I said to the guy, you need glasses. Anyway, we've now got to pull apart our makeshift barricade and see if it's still in there.
Yeah, that's fine.
It's still there.
Yep.
Where is it?
Literally right at the back there, bro.
I can't see it.
Literally behind all these.
Maybe. Mungkin bisa taruh di sini. Oh, ya.
She's got no fear.
Yeah, he's got absolutely no fear whatsoever. Oh God. What the?
You're better now than me. You can feel me?
Yes. Yeah.
Oh, I can hear it. He's shouting and that.
Okay, get that camera down.
Oh, that is proper wound up.
Is it bad?
Yeah, it's good. Mate, you can definitely tell it's a cobra now.
Can you see it?
Kind of.
Hang on, I'm going to connect to the camera as well so I can try and move it.
What the fuck? I think he's got it.
You got it?
Oh.
Yeah. This is.
Oh my. What the?
Wow.
Just spitting to the
Yeah. Dude, you're just chilled. You just got to.
You got it around your hand like a bracelet.
Untung tamunya
That is
kenapa?
crazy.
Kalau biasanya saya baru datang langsung ke sini.
Oh my god.
Whoa.
Okay, he's focused only to this.
Oh my god. Oh my god. Dude's an absolute nutter.
Gini aja.
You are the toughest guy I've ever met in my life.
And just gonna pop it in the carry bag. So you got it. Pop it in the bag. So you got it wearing it.
So as I said already, you know, when this happened, there was absolutely no help coming from our landlady, who was just on holiday, just didn't give a shit. And I just found that to be really, really representative of like basically the whole service industry there. You're on the island, you've paid your money, I don't give a shit. And it was just deeply disappointing. What was worse is that the housekeeper, who came pretty much every day, that was her cleaning cupboard. So all the stuff was in there. If we had just not told her that that was in there, she would have just gone in the morning and then could have been bitten by a poisonous snake. And I can't. Do you see where? Do you see why? I just think like everything like these were all like within the different weeks, different days, everything. It's not like I haven't been to developing countries before, right? I've literally spent my life going to developing countries, and I did in the military. It's just that this place is not what it's sold to be. It's just, I think 10 years ago, maybe it was amazing. But now it's just full of people who are trying to take advantage of every single person that comes there without investing anything back into it. And I put that both on, you know, the sort of local government side of things, because the roads are so bad. And then on the private sort of business side of it, you know, you've got people rent out villas that don't exist. You hear these stories of people turning up and the villas don't exist, or somebody's just rented out somebody else's villa. It's honestly baffling to me how this place is so popular. Now, the snake thing, I don't mind. I've seen 1,000,001 snakes. I'm not scared of snakes. Spiders, on the other hand, not a fan, but I'm not scared of snakes. But it was the response from the landlady that just made the whole situation even worse. We were already hating the villa that we were staying in because it was just decrepit and cost us a fortune. And then having to deal with this and not having any help that came from it. The only reason that we managed to do it was because I messaged a guy who you guys might have seen on here, Ryan, who is he lives in Jakarta, and he's like a survival and like wildlife expert, and he then sent it off to a snake expert and was like, dude, get the fuck away from that snake. It's a spitting cobra. Like, you guys, that's got a range of 2 meters when it spits. You guys need to be careful with that. Nothing from the landlady. No help. He sent me the number for the people to come and remove it. And then you saw that absolute legend just turn up in flip-flops. So I do see why I just didn't like it. And you've seen my other videos, so you know it's not like I shy away from going to places that are different. So anyway, I went back to doing what I do best, which is I am a fitness coach. I love training. I travel around the world trying to stay fit, do cool stuff. So I was back into the gyms. Now, I will say we tried a whole bunch of different gyms as well. Some of these are the best training facilities that I have ever visited. But again, it is like the most influencer place heavy. And yes, I get the irony, but there is a difference between people filming themselves in a gym and a gym being there for people to film themselves. And again, this balance was just not right. And you had people with 1 million followers on social media in there who were some of the nicest people that I've met. And then you had people who have, you know, a smaller following who couldn't have been ruder. And it was every single time. And this is why I say, as the Daily Mail so helpfully printed, the Dubaiification of Bali, I think, is real. And I mean it from the old days of Dubai, like when everyone moved out there because it was like a good lifestyle, but relatively cheap. And I think this is what has happened to Bali. It's people trying to make it as influencers. So they go out there thinking it's going to be this wonderful paradise thing, but then they just get caught up in this sort of party lifestyle and all of that goes with it. And the island can't handle that many people, that much construction. You've only got to go and look, you know, one search on social media and you will see how busy it is and how overcrowded it is. And we knew that was going to be the case. We just didn't realize just how bad it was going to be. So I then, thankfully, I went and trained at Wanderlust Gym, which is somewhere I have always wanted to train. And if you see my previous video, it's at Wanderlust. Like, I love that place. Coaches, incredible. The people who trained there, amazing. Like CrossFit gyms in general, have a really, really good clientele. And that became a place where I stayed all day, every day, because I would turn up in the morning before the traffic got really bad. I would stay there because it's like an oasis in the middle of Canggu. I would train, I would film, I would work, and then I would leave, and I would leave late at night because even though I lived like 10 minutes away, the traffic was so bad that I just couldn't. If you left at, say, 5 o'clock, it would take you 30 minutes to get home when it should take 5-10 minutes. And if you got it wrong, you know, especially when we were living further out, it would take you an hour. And it was just horrific. So then I went into the training side of things and I loved it. And if you are going to Bali for the fitness scene, which again, it is renowned for, you will love it. You will absolutely love what they've got there, but you won't love everything else around it.
Good morning and welcome back to Wanderlust Fitness Village here in Bali. It is a Saturday morning. I was planning to do some pretty basic strength work today, but I've decided to do what I always do, which is completely fuck that off and make it up as I go along. Now, I say make it up as I go along, that's a little bit of a lie. They've just had a big CrossFit class in here. So I'm taking one of the WODs that they've got on the screen, I'm adapting it for the strength and conditioning training that I need to do before I hike up to base camp. But as you know, this is me, and I never ever have any two plans the same. So it may be base camp next week, or in a few weeks. After that, who knows, swimming the Antarctic or something stupid. But that's why we've got to make sure we are fit and strong all the time. So we're going to start off with some strength work. Not in here, actually. I'm filming this after I've done it, so that's going to be next door. Let's have a look at what we're getting up to there. Welcome back to the main arena. This is where we're going to do the WOD for this morning. So I've done the strength work. Now this is meant to be in teams of 2 for time. However, I am a loser, so I'm only doing it by myself. So I've got 200 meter run into what will be 50 hang power snatches, 200 meter run, 50 push press, 200 meter run. It's meant to be 50 sumo deadlift high pulls. I'm not doing those. I am going to do some toes to bar instead, just because my shoulders always click out of place when I do those. A 200 meter run, 50 front squats, and a 200 meter run. So the 200 meters will stay the same. All of those exercises were meant to be 100 each, but because I'm doing it on my own, splitting that down, I have also increased the weight. So the RX weight was going to be 40 kilos. I'm doing it with 50 kilos. I think I'm going to burn out really quickly on this, so I'm going to take it slow and just do it and probably break it down into 5s, maybe 10s. We'll see. Anyway, let's get ready to rumble. Okay, so that was 34 minutes, which was, I think, a lot longer probably than people doing it in pairs. But I scaled the weight up, I scaled the reps down, and I had to change out a couple of one of the exercises just because I got a dodgy shoulder. But that was spicy, and obviously did a bit of the leg stuff first. Great feeling that. I hadn't really planned to do anything that spicy today, but I saw it on the screen and I thought, yeah, do you know what, give that a go. Change it up a bit because I know what my training focuses are, and I need to get that core strength thing, and I need to get that power. So the stuff like the front squats was good because it was light, but endurance because you're just going through it, smashing it quickly. Probably could have done a lot more of those actually. And I think I'm going to put a lot more of those into my training in the next couple of weeks. So with that, peace out. I need to go get my face microdermabrated. Hell of a storm going on here in Bali. And the weather was really not been complete since I've been here. It's been really humid, or like this. Which honestly was not really what I was after. I left Thailand to avoid the rainy season. Not this. I mean, if it's like Thailand, stuff will start to flood any time now, which is really not great. You can actually see the rice fields down there. Filling up, which is kind of funny because I haven't really seen them do that so far. Obviously, paddy fields, renowned for having lots of water in. We can zoom in there, yeah. Welcome to Bali. Yeah, so all of this is now filling up. You can see the rice fields down there, and all the water. This is mental. This is like, I mean, this is kind of like Thailand last year in the wet season, but this is meant to be the dry season. I mean, doesn't look great, does it? Yeah, not the one. Not the one. Don't forget, the other thing is because we all use scooters to get around here, means that it's basically impossible to go anywhere in this, because you're basically going to come off your bike, and no one wants to die on a scooter in Bali.
So I think my final point is this. It felt like a fake movie set. It felt like a place where people go to tell you they're having an amazing time, but in reality, just battling all the same stuff. I didn't even bother getting videos or photos at some of the like really, really famous monuments, the gates, or going up to the rice fields in Ubud, because there's 1,000 people there queuing to take the same picture. There was, and I get maybe it just wasn't for me. Well, I mean, clearly it wasn't for me. But people say you either love it or you don't, and it's your place or it's not. But I have been to a lot of places, man, and this was the place that left me the most disappointed of all. And I booked a flight back to Thailand because, do you know what? For me, it's just everything about it is more chilled, it's nicer, it's more authentic. And I'm sorry if you're a Bali person and you love it, but I know plenty of people who went to Bali a while back when it was still not overcrowded as it is now. And almost all of them have said the same thing, which is, first they left Canggu and went down to Uluwatu, and now Uluwatu is heaving. So now they're all looking for somewhere else to go. The amount of people who are moving to Thailand or the Philippines because they just can't deal with the sort of Aussie butlins and the wannabe influencers. I went to experience it, not to influence you about Bali. But if I'm honest, like, this video has become a whole de-influencing about Bali because it made me thoroughly depressed. I really hated it. And it took me so long to get over it. You know that if you've followed me for a while, I have PTSD from my time in the army. I go through my kind of waves of ups and downs, as is normal for everybody. But Bali really crushed my spirit. Because I went there looking for something different, but beautiful, for relaxing but adventurous, for good training, good food, the Indonesian culture, the Balinese culture, and I just didn't find any of it, man. I didn't. What I found was the highly sort of plasticized version of it all to turn it into a tourist hotspot. And I'm sorry, but I just cannot recommend that you visit Bali if you like any of the same stuff that I do. And there'll be plenty of people that go, shut up, Harry, I don't care, I'm going to go because you don't like the same things as me. Good, and I hope you bloody love it when you go. I would never ever wish for anyone not to enjoy it, especially for spending that money. But I couldn't. I just couldn't. And to be honest, for all the money in the world, you couldn't get me to go back. And so on that wonderful positive note, stay tuned because the next videos are back in Thailand, my favourite place. We are training for the ultra marathons, back-to-back ultra marathons through the Sahara Desert for veterans charities, helping to raise money for charities which deal with veterans who might have complicated mental health issues, and also serving personnel who need help as well. To me, that is a huge thing for me because that I nearly a few years back, and if I can put myself in the hurt locker for a few months to do this, and then a few days of running through the desert, so somebody else can make it through life, then that is a worthy cause. So stay tuned, please have a look, and I will put the donation link down at the bottom if you fancy donating. Otherwise, wait and see the pain that I put myself through for the next video. So please like, subscribe, and follow along for what is going to be a rough few months.